Hello guys, this is Naruto-kun and we are back with our new fanfic, which is What If Naruto and Ino Were Living in Same Apartment Part 1. And if you enjoy this fanfic, then please press the like button and please subscribe to the channel. It motivates me to upload more fanfic like these for you all. Now let's start the fanfiction. Naruto let out a long yawn as he sat up in his bed. The rays of the sun forced themselves into his room through the partly opened window. The morning breeze smelling of dew delicately played with the silk curtains he had purchased the other week. Pulling another yawn, he went to watch the rosy sky. It's going to be a hot day again, he said. He went to his calendar and crossed out the 4th day of his suspension. There was still some leftover ramen from last night nestled inside the clay bowl Tuki had insisted he take to celebrate his 1000th visit to Ramen Ichiraku. Only soggy noodles remained, but it would do for breakfast. He put it inside his microwave. The rolled up, slightly drenched Daily Konoha newspaper protruded out the door trap. As usual, he made a cup of chocolate and read the paper in his living room while waiting for his ramen. Loud knocks came from the door, startling him. There was some kind of urgency to them. Frowning, he set down his cup and newspaper and went to get it. Whoever it was seemed to be in a hurry. I'm coming. Geez. Don't destroy my door. His frown deepened when he saw who it was. Ino. I'm sorry for barging in so early in the morning, but I need your help, Naruto. With what? Can I come in? Naruto noticed her luggage. What's the luggage all about? Could we talk inside? You can tell me here. I'm under surveillance. I'm not allowed to let anyone inside. Naruto, I really need your help. Please. I can call Sakura if. No, not Sakura. Naruto raised an eyebrow. Ino looked at her feet. I don't want to bother her. So it's okay if it's me. No, it's not like that. Hey, why are you like that? Why are you acting cold towards me? I'm your former classmate. Keep it down. A voice from another unit chided. You're going to get me in trouble, Naruto said. Go home. He started closing the door. Wait, stop, Ino said. At least let me explain. Naruto turned and crossed his arms. Okay. She filled her lungs with air and exhaled. I'm sorry. I know that I hurt you a while back, but it was just a joke. We just wanted to have some fun. Please forgive me. What joke? I don't remember anything like that. She blushed from neck to ears. Looking away, she said, the one where I asked you for a KK kiss. That one? No, I don't mind that a bit. What? I was the one who asked you. Weren't you even a bit flustered? I knew you were faking it because it was you. Let's cut to the chase, Ino. My doubts are not because you treat me that way. Ino flinched. For a time she could not say anything. Then finally, she said, Naruto, I ran away from home. Naruto's eyes widened. What? She did not dare to shift away her gaze. I ran away. Naruto put his palm on his forehead and sighed. Okay. Come inside. Ino said, I'm really sorry. Ino blushed while she stood beside the door. All the courage she had mustered a while ago had been drained upon entering Naruto's apartment. She couldn't even look at him. What are you standing there for? Take a seat. I'll get you something to drink. Head bowed, Ino slowly went to the couch. She put her large bag beside her feet. Placing the cup of chocolate on the center table, Naruto sat across Ino. Okay. I want a full explanation. Ino took a swift glance at Naruto and saw how serious his face was. She gulped. My mom wants me to go to a marriage interview. I know that you're thinking that I can easily brush the guy off, but my mom seemed to be set about getting me married to that guy. I told her that I didn't want to go, but she insisted that I should. Naruto, you know who I like. I still love Sasuke and he's the one I want to marry. Why don't you tell her that? She won't accept it. She already knows that I like Sasuke, and I think that the marriage interview is her way to keep me away from him. You know what reputation Sasuke has. Mom won't even let me see him. Does Shikamaru or Choji know about this? No, I went to you because I know Mom would not think I'd ask you for help. Geez. I'm sorry. Naruto sighed. Can't be helped. I still don't approve of your running away, but I think your mother is wrong here. We need to formulate a plan to stop this marriage interview from happening. Ino sipped from her cup of chocolate, mustering another bout of courage. Then after a full minute, she said, "May I stay here, Naruto?" A beat. Say that again. May I stay here? You want to stay here? Ino nodded. Naruto stared at her, and then he looked at the rim of his cup, thinking hard. Minutes passed by without anyone making a sound. Do you understand what you're asking? Naruto said. Why, yes. She blushed and looked away. Naruto watched her for a time. Do you, now? He sighed. You're pretty serious about this, huh? I would not have run away if I was not. Naruto rested his head on the backrest. He stayed like that for a couple of minutes. Oh, okay, he said, finally. I'll let you stay. But keep in mind that this is only temporary. We need to sort things out and think of a way to solve your problem. Thank you so much, Naruto. And sorry for imposing on you. He stood up, collecting the now empty cups from the table. Naruto, please don't tell anyone about this. I think it's a must, given the situation, he said, smiling. Don't worry. I promise I'll keep this to myself. Naruto, one more thing. Ino's face reddened. If ever you feel like you want some company, she glanced up. I cannot give up everything, but I may be able to do something for you. What do you mean? Don't make me spell it out. Geez. You mean some kind of payment? Naruto laughed. That's a tempting offer coming from you. Ino stiffened, her shoulders jumping slightly. But no thanks. Sasuke and you might be as well husband and wife in the future. I don't want things to get awkward around us. Besides, it's hard to get my hopes up knowing that it is coming from you, right? When Naruto was out of earshot, Ino sighed. That's a relief. Why the heck did I say that in the first place? What if he accepted? What would you do, you silly girl? It's just fortunate that he's not the type. Ino caught herself. She glanced at Naruto over her shoulder. Naruto, you might be too kind for your own good, she mumbled. Naruto stowed the cups into the wall cabinets. Turning around, he remembered his ramen. The noodles had become so soggy it was more like porridge now. He put it inside a disposable lunch box, deciding that he would eat it on the way to the market. As he wiped his hands on the hand cloth by the refrigerator, he said, I'll be out for a bit. Help yourself to my room. When you say it like that, it sounds a little pervy, Ino muttered. What? I didn't say anything. I think I heard. You were saying. Ino cut in. The smile on her face was stiff. With a shrug, Naruto went on. You can use my closet. It's still wide enough for your things. And Naruto, when I come back, let's talk about our sleeping arrangement. He started for the door. Wait, Naruto, you don't have to change anything for me. Ino looked around, anxiously. This couch, this can be my bed. As for my clothes, I can just keep them inside my bag. I think it's hardly the time to get embarrassed after all that. What's that supposed to mean? Naruto smiled. Starting today we'll be living under the same roof. Let's not start getting awkward now, shall we? That's not what I'm trying to say. Make yourself at home. Back in a jiffy. And Naruto left. Dummy. She said, furiously blushing. What should I do? Ino slumped hard on the couch. Am I not making a big mistake? Should I ask another friend? No. My mom will find me easily if I do that. No matter where you look at it, this is the best decision. She found Naruto's room easily, being the only room upstairs. Sorry for intruding, she said, looking around. She could hardly believe that it was a guy's room. The only other person she knew who was this neat was Shikamaru. The bed was fixed, the window curtained. Nothing was scattered on the floor, so much unlike Choji's room where once she had to burn the pig's discarded underwear to recover from being grossed out. She went to Naruto's study desk and stared at Team 7's group picture. Sasuke is so cool even when pouting. And Sakura, well, Sakura will be Sakura. Naruto, what kind of face is that? She remembered the time when she and Sakura had fought over Sasuke almost every day. I thought that I would get over him as I grew older. It turned out I was wrong. Rather than fading, my feelings for him became much deeper. She opened Naruto's closet and found only 9 kinds of clothing in it. 2 pairs of jeans, 3 shirts, and the rest were t-shirts. Not even a formal wear. Dummy. This is why no one pays attention to you, you don't care about your appearance. And here I thought you looked better when you got back from your 3-year training. Not able to help her curiosity, she pulled a t-shirt to her nose. Well, at least you know how to wash them properly. She started to put her clothes inside the closet. Now with nothing to do, she sat on the bed and rubbed the soft fabric of the mattress. Her trepidation was being overcome by her lack of sleep. Damning it all with an exhale, she dived into the bed. She half expected to smell sweat, but could only chuckle when she smelled the lemony fragrance of detergent. Are you actually a clean freak? She laughed. There was so much she was discovering about Naruto. Sorry for imposing too much, but I will borrow your bed for a while. She had been sure she would not be able to fall asleep that easily, but the coziness of the room, the clean smell, the light breeze, and the softness of Naruto's bed took over and knocked her out. Eating the soggy noodles from the disposable lunch box in his hand, Naruto enjoyed the slow and gradual proceedings of Konoha as it woke up from sleep. Look who's on Cloud 9 today, a woman said. Cloud 9 your butt. Can't you see how soggy this has become? Naruto said. The woman he was talking to was tall, had her long, black hair in a ponytail, and wore a porcelain cat mask, an anbu. I'm not talking about the noodles. But if you ask me, you should be throwing that already. I don't want to waste food. Naruto chewed and gulped. You're here too early, by the way. I haven't gotten around doing my report yet. I'm not here to collect your report. Let's go over Tsuki-san's place. I'd like to talk to you about something. Naruto noticed the hard tone in her voice. Something wrong. Come on, she said. They went to the Ichiraku ramen shop which was still deserted. Tsuki saw the anbu in Naruto. Seeing the noodles, he immediately went to take it from Naruto. Let me take care of this, Naruto-kun. Ayame, 2 servings of tonkatsu. Eiko-san, please go ahead and use the back room. Thank you, Tsuki-san. And while you're at it, I'd like an additional slice of roasted belly and a plate of gyoza. Halfway through their ramen bowls, Naruto paused to get a gyoza. Let me hear it. Eiko, her pretty face bare now, slurped hurriedly. Haha, sorry. She cleared her throat. I saw you and Yamanaka-san this morning. And I just happened to know that she ran away from home. I don't want to get involved, but I want to warn you as a friend. Her mother is a powerful person. Naruto pushed a mouthful of noodles into his mouth, chewed, and gulped. I know that. I'll be careful. Yamanaka-san has dispatched a search party to find her daughter. It'd be better if you told her to stay indoors at all times. Okay. But don't worry. Inoichi-san is trying to do something about it. Though it's for her daughter, an Anbu search party is going overboard. What the heck? Anbu. Eiko nodded and went back to her ramen. No one talked for a while. Naruto, when the time comes, I advise you to hand over Yamanaka-san without resistance. With your suspension and all, your forehead protector might get revoked. But Ino is. I know. But this is her mother we're talking about. If this whole thing ballooned up to something serious, you'd be at the losing end. Naruto's clear blue eyes stared into Eiko's. I appreciate your concern, but I just can't abandon her. You can tell her father. I can't do that. I made a promise to her. Eiko exhaled. I know you're upset, but I got this, okay, he said. Trust me. She doesn't deserve your kindness. Eiko said, hitting the table with her fist. The bowls jumped from the jolt and some soup splattered over the table. Naruto watched her, startled. Realizing how embarrassing her reaction was, she put on her mask, but she could not hide her tomato-red face before Naruto got a glimpse of it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. She stood up. Naruto, with a wicked grin, said, "Are you concerned for my safety that bad?" "I'm not, you idiot." Without warning, he reached out and pinched her right forefinger. Her face grew hot from the gentle pressure he was exerting. Luckily, she had put her mask back on. She thought she had already gotten over it, but she could not stop from pulling her finger away as if burned. "You pervert. Calm down. Do you remember that day when I'd gotten really pissed at you?" The memory in question was the day she had got bitten by a deadly snake because she did not listen to Naruto and still tried to get her hands on the amigama herb. Naruto had been glaring at her the whole time he sucked out the venom from the fang holes on her forefinger. It had been one pleasurable experience, though she had almost died. "You've already done something similar to what I'm trying to do now. What you felt strongly that day for me is the same as what I feel for Ino now." Naruto stood in front of her and pried her mask off. "I got this. Okay. Hey, you're all red." Before she died of embarrassment, she slapped him. "I understand, you pervert." She took her mask from Naruto's grasp and put it back on. "Do as you please. For all I know, what you really feel strongly now is doing eki stuff to Yamanaka-san." "Hey, that was uncalled for." Without breaking stride, Eiko said. "The best thing you can do today is get a clue, you moron. Turn in your report on time. I can only make up things so much. I don't want Tsunade-sama asking questions I can't dodge." She felt a hand grab hers from behind. She did not even feel his movements. "Thank you," he said. "Good luck. Tsuki-san, Naruto's treating me." She called out. She was gone before he could even begin to protest. "I'm home," Naruto said. He noticed the quietness of the room. Ino was not there. Her bag was gone. A note could be here somewhere. He looked around the usual places someone might put a note on, but he did not find any. Leaving his purchases on the sink, he went upstairs. Slowly, he opened the door a crack without knocking, in case she was sleeping. "Ino," he called out in a quiet voice. He dared not to look inside, in case she was changing. After 10 seconds without response, he pushed the door wider and looked in. Ino was softly snoring in his bed. He smiled. She was curled over, so he went to get a warmer and put it over her. His apron was hanging on the wall across the bed, so he had to bend over Ino's sleeping body to get it. He did it as quietly as he could. Ino might have heard the rustles for she opened her eyes and screamed. Naruto was on her immediately, covering her mouth. It's me. Calm down. The neighbors will get the wrong idea if they hear you." Naruto." She mumbled into his palm. "Yeah, sorry I startled you. I'm only here to get my apron." "You were not trying to do anything funny?" she asked, suspicion on her face. "You want me to? You jerk." She threw a pillow at him. Naruto laughed as he shielded himself. "Relax. I wouldn't do that." He picked the pillow up and beat it off for dust. "Here. Go back to sleep. I'll wake you up when lunch is ready." Grabbing the apron which had fallen on the bed, he went for the door. She thought that she might not be able to go back, but after a few minutes staring at the ceiling, she felt her eyes going heavy. "You jerk," she whispered and closed her eyes. She slept for 3 hours more. Ino yawned as she went down the stairs. She heard the clucking sound of a knife against a chopping board. Pretending to get something to drink, she went to the kitchen. The smell of boiling pork and ginger permeated her nose, and she drooled. Naruto was chopping onion strings at the sink. She cleared her throat, looking away as she said, "Sorry about earlier." "Nah, don't mention it." The rice cooker chimed. "You're just in time. This'll be cooked soon." He turned to her and stared. "What?" she said, subconsciously covering her chest with her arms. Nothing. he said, but she saw something in his eyes, something synonymous to a sigh brought by the sight of the vast blue ocean or a breathtaking sunrise. She felt like the most beautiful girl in the world for an instant. Realizing that she was blushing, she opened the fridge and drank big time from an orange juice jug. Naruto turned to the pot and performed the last touches to the broth. Go wash your hands, Ino. We're having lunch. They sat in two rocking chairs beside each other, like an old couple on a siesta. Ino held her tummy. It was one of the rare times she had gotten herself so stuffed she could not move. Naruto had prepared cold tea, sweetened with honey, which she enjoyed tremendously. I'm afraid if I stay here too long, I'll grow fat, she said. If that happened, you'd be the prettiest chubby girl in Konoha. That is not a compliment, she chided. You said you were under surveillance. What did you do this time? He reached out for his cup and drank from it. I got tangled in a scuffle last week. I misunderstood the situation and sent a guy to the hospital. What? That guy really pissed me. Could you give me the details? He was forcing a girl to go with him. Initially, that was what I thought, but it turned out that the girl was his girlfriend. Are you serious? You could have gone to jail for something so stupid. It's alright. I think I needed some time off from work, anyway. And as an added bonus, Mayumi told me that she finally broke up with the asshole. She even invited me to hang out once in a while. Mayumi? Huh, she's a nice girl. I think you two will click. I wouldn't put too much hope in that, she said in a small voice. What's that? She'd probably treat me not too nicely around you. Naruto frowned. I don't get what you mean. Let's move on. We meet when we meet. Now that the tension had dissipated, they soaked in the warmth of the afternoon sun. Feather clouds suspended way up in the sky gave them a welcome distraction away from that awkward exchange. Remember when we were kids? You always wanted to play hero, Ino said. Always too reckless. Always too eager to please. I thought that it would fade as you grew older, but this recent incident proved me wrong. You are still that little kid that doesn't care. Originally, I just wanted to look cool and win some friends. Then it became a habit. I can't seem to shake it off of my system anymore. Believe me, Naruto, you were already plenty cool. She caught herself and felt the blush creeping to her face. Though you'll never be as cool as Sasuke, not in a million years, why are you staring at me like that? Sorry. I was just caught off guard with that remark. I never thought you'd think of me that way. Don't let it go to your head. Well, okay. You're not going to press for details. It seems you've gone past your neediness, huh? Though, looking back, you weren't really needy. Sure, you sought attention, but when someone said no, you'd usually go away. Ino sighed. Where did you learn how to cook? That dish was amazing. I started living alone when I was 7, Naruto said. Ji-chan was not always there to take care of me, and those he assigned to the task were all mean to me. So I decided that it would be best to live on my own. Luckily, Ji-chan was kind enough to give me this apartment. You know how to cook. Of course. Sakura's mom taught me how to do that boiled pork. I also know some unique recipes I'm sure you haven't tried yet. That's a surprise. I was in the impression that you'd be focusing more on becoming prettier than doing housework. Like in the past. She could only smile. Yeah, it's so nostalgic. Sakura and I used to fight over Sasuke a lot, it became our routine. Yeah, I remember that. I used to have a crush on Sakura, too. I was really annoyed when she tried everything to get ahead of you just so Sasuke would pay attention to her more. Whether it was a new dress, a new haircut, it was always the same. She'd make sure she was prettier. Ino laughed uneasily. Yup. Right on the mark. It was weird. What do you mean weird? It's a perfectly normal behavior around your crush. You also tried to impress Sakura, right? It's not that. When you were younger, it was okay. You could not have realized it. But as you grew older, I found it weird why you kept on trying to be pretty when you were born pretty in the first place. Didn't you realize that you were already attractive enough? She could have had a nosebleed right there and then. His question was innocent, blunt, sincere, and so devoid of sarcasm she felt her heart climbing out her throat. She was suddenly at a loss for words. She took a glance at him. He was looking straight at the passing clouds, as if he was not expecting her to answer. Naruto, do you find me attractive? She said. Curses. My heart won't slow down. And why the hell did I ask that in the first place? Naruto turned his head to her. Yeah, you're attractive. What makes me attractive to you? A follow-up. What's happening to me? Naruto, if I say something weird, it will be your fault. I think it's because, if some kind of situation came, I would not get tired looking at you. Don't say it so bluntly. She thought her head just exploded. She hastily got up. I think I'll go have a shower. Hey, are you alright? Your face is all red. Don't tell me you can get drunk on honey, too. That's not it. Who the hell gets drunk on honey? Maybe it's the heat. Maybe the stress is catching up with me. I don't know. It might be better if I slept more. Okay, he said with trepidation. She managed a giggle. I'm fine, Naruto, so you can quit worrying. You really don't have a clue, do you? How about this? I'll make you something tonight. Do you hate spicy stuff? Nope. It makes me eat a lot of rice, though. Then that's good. Are you sure you're okay? A little wobbly. Yes, but. He started to rise from his seat. Wobbly. She held his arm, laughing. I'm just kidding. He searched her face. With that intense gaze, she could swear she would turn to water in no time. I'll be upstairs, then. Hey, Ino, I almost forgot. I'll not be here this afternoon. I'm meeting Sakura. Sakura. And also, your mom has dispatched a search party to bring you back, so if you're going out, make sure to disguise yourself. Better still, don't go out at all. She did not know why she was more anxious over his meeting with Sakura than the search party. We haven't been talking a lot lately because she's busy with work, but how long have you been going out? We could only be an item in my dreams, he said, smiling. She's just consulting me for some offensive techniques. Is that so? I'll be out at 1 o'clock and be back around 5. The kitchen is all yours. Ino stood there for a while, not sure what to do. Then she said, Naruto. Yes, I think it'd better if you were not that open with your opinions, you know. What do you mean? When she saw the confusion on his face, she gave up. Maybe he just doesn't think about this kind of stuff. On the contrary, maybe I'll be safer staying here that way. Nothing. Forget it. I'm beat. Offensive ninjutsu is really difficult to master, Sakura said, slumping on the ground. I don't think I can make progress like this. The shade was dappled with sunlight passing through the leaves of the tree. The afternoon was almost over. The day had gotten somber, old, as dusk approached. You're making progress, Sakura. A little more practice and you'll be able to do it. He drank from his bottle, standing there half naked, almost as if showing his lean body off. This was their relationship now. In the past, Sakura would have punched him for the vulgarity, but now she could say that it did not bother her, even enjoyed it secretly. Want some? Sure. Even this, which could already be considered an indirect kiss, did not make her feel uneasy anymore. When had it begun? Sometimes she wondered if Naruto was just pretending not to notice. Salty. Nothing. Naruto replaced the cap on the bottle as he watched the setting sun. Looks great, as always. Yeah, Naruto, I think we haven't been spending enough time together these past months. You think so? But we get to train every afternoon, so I think it's not a problem. No, it's not like that. I mean doing fun stuff like eating out or going somewhere, catching up with each other. We haven't done something like that for a while now. It can't be helped. We've been busy with work. But you're suspended, right? How about it? I'll take a day off after the seminar and spend time with you. Is it okay? I heard the hospital is currently short on staff. It so happened that we got new recruits. That's the reason I was allowed to attend the seminar in the first place. So, what do you think? Naruto smiled. Okay. Then. Oh, that reminds me. We could go to the flower festival. Isn't it on Saturday, already? I haven't gone to a festival in a long time. Sounds great. Naruto put his jacket on and gave his hand to Sakura. Let's go. It's getting dark. He pulled her up with too much force. Sakura clung on his neck for balance, and in the process their lower lips touched. Naruto seemed oblivious of the small contact, but Sakura felt it. Grateful for the dimming light, she pushed herself with an awkward chuckle. You're really pushing it, Naruto. Oh, sorry. Are you alright? He's thinking about a completely different reason, she thought. I'm fine. Come on. If it had happened a bit earlier, her hot face could have brought forth another misunderstanding. Sakura found her mother washing dishes in the kitchen. Ignoring that her skin was sticky with sweat, she embraced her from behind. Mebuki jumped at the sudden contact. Sakura, you startled me. Sorry, Mom. She looked out the window at the cherry-colored sky, resting her chin on Mebuki's shoulder. Did something good happen? I was just thinking that time really does fly by so fast. What's this? Talking like a grown-up all of a sudden. No, not like that. What are we having for dinner? Your father somewhat wants to celebrate something, so we're having Kuromaguro tonight. Dad does. For him to splurge that much, it must be something really special. The full moon was big last night, and he kept on staring at it. Maybe he got the occasional moon high. Mebuki placed the plate in the wall cabinet and held Sakura's hand. Both of them watched the setting sun. Naruto said the sunset looked great as always, Sakura said. It is, Mebuki said. That boy used to have a crush on you, didn't he? So, has he made a move on you yet? Sakura giggled nervously, and then she kissed Mebuki on the cheek. I'll take my shower now. I'm all sticky with sweat. She ran off upstairs. I'll bring over some Anko dumplings to your room, sweetheart. Do you want some tea with it? Thanks, Mom. I'm home, Naruto said, stretching. The delicious smell of pork cutlets and boiling coconut milk and vinegar reached his nose. Smells good. Welcome back, Ino said. She was wearing his apron over a pair of shorts that revealed her shapely thighs and a sleeveless shirt with a wide collar. The thin golden necklace on her neck emphasized her smooth, glowing skin all the more. You'll definitely love this. It's pork in spicy coconut milk and vinegar, one of my originals. It's a good match for pork cutlets and lettuce salad. Naruto could not take his eyes off her for a few seconds. Wow, she looks really good in those clothes. I did not realize she's this pretty. He went and stood by the refrigerator, careful not to stare too much. His heartbeat had quickened. What makes me attractive to you? She had said. This is my first time seeing you in your house clothes. Looks good on you. Stop with the flattery, young man. It will never sway my heart, she said grandiosely, as if delivering a line in a drama. I already heated the bath, so you can go and have your shower anytime. It feels like we're playing husband and wife. Ino stared at him and he realized what he had said. It was an honest slip of the tongue. Sorry. I didn't mean for it to sound awkward. To escape, he focused on the refrigerator. The first tray contained salted fish, chicken marinated in soy sauce and lemon, and pork chops dipped in vinegar, pepper, and garlic. The second tray bulged with vegetables and fruits. The two medium-sized watermelons were especially captivating. There was also egg, milk, and juice. You shopped? Yeah. He could feel her eyes burning through him as she said that. Another 5 minutes and it's done. He poured himself a glass of juice and was so nervous he could not put the bottle back inside. I'll go take a shower now, he said, placing the glass and bottle on the sink. He thought the speed by which he climbed the stairs was suspiciously too quick. So stupid. Why did I have to say all of that? How can I give it to her now? Damn it. Ino was perfectly fine when they dined. She told him about her original recipe and how she had conceived of it. It was her father's current favorite. Naruto, on the other hand, told her about his training with Sakura, though he left out their plan of going to the flower festival. Ino seemed to have forgotten the event, or else she deliberately stayed clear from the subject. Then they talked about inconsequential things. Naruto made it a point to look straight into her eyes to prevent his own from wandering about. Now that she had taken off the apron, her beauty beckoned full blast, a fact which was dangerous in its own way. Well, guys might not bother filling their refrigerators, but girls always make it an issue, she said. I just don't want you spending too much of your money. You filled my fridge up to a week of supplies. Don't exaggerate. Besides, even though it's only temporary, we'll be sharing the same fridge for the time being. And about the money, don't worry about it. I found a pouch of money in my bag. Maybe Dad put it in there. I see. Lucky for me, then. Oh, I suddenly remember. Wait here. Casual and smooth. He thought a chance wouldn't show itself. Ino watched him as he went to his knapsack that he had hung by the door. From there, he got an ebony box the length of a forearm. She seemed to be thinking that he was bringing her a dagger, but she gasped when she saw the stenciled letters on the edge of its lid. Naruto grinned. Though it looked like a small coffin, one forgiven and accepted eccentricity of the chocolate artisan, no girl would be ignorant of its contents. Yashoko, she murmured. Are these the famous blue chocolates of Yashoko Hiroshi? Yup. But this is so expensive. Wait, are you sure this is for me? Of course. I can't think of a reason why you'd give me something like this. Friendship renewal. She could not take away her eyes from the beautiful box. That's a lame excuse. Who would give a 15,000 ryo worth of chocolates for friendship renewal? And what is a friendship renewal anyway? Do you want it or not? Of course, I want it. I just can't believe that someone is actually giving one to me. I don't know if you're aware, but besides being expensive, there is a superstition that if a girl buys blue chocolates for herself, she will never have a happy love life. That's why it became an unwritten rule for us girls to wait until someone gives one to us. I even read an article saying that only 1% gets to receive one in their entire lives. She paused for breath. This is a big deal for me, Naruto. I'm really grateful. I'm not aware of that superstition. It just so happened that when I saw the caravan on my way home, I figured that you'd like some blue chocolates. Besides, it would have been a waste if I did not go for it. That caravan only visits once a decade. You're being too nice to me. The blush, the look in her eyes, and the shy demeanor struck Naruto square in the chest. But, thank you. Thank you very much, Naruto. When Ino excused herself, Naruto saw a gleam in the corner of her eye, but he dismissed it as a trick the light made to his vision. Will I be able to sleep? She was sitting on the bed, the box of blue chocolates in her hand. The ebony's smooth, varnished surface gleamed against the fluorescent lamp and its cool temperature tickled her palm. Even though she knew that he had not given her the gift out of romantic intentions, it still bothered her. It was not his fault. If she might say so, it was her heart's fault. Sighing, she decided to open the box. The components were made of assembled pieces fitted together in perfection that no seam could be seen. It was more like a block than a box. To open it, you place one end, the one with the stenciled letters, to your chest and hold it with your left hand. The other end you hold with your right. You slid both of your thumbs towards you over the surface until a click is heard. A small hole will then open at the end over your chest and release the preserved aroma inside. Once it stops hissing, you place the box on a flat surface and wait until it used up all its stored energy to transform into a square container with the chocolates lying in intricately designed compartments. They had the color of the sea with deep blue streaks. Ino popped one into her mouth and couldn't help her eyes from watering. The chocolate's warm sweetness exploded on her tongue. Knocks came from the door. Ino, can I come in? I forgot to bring my blanket. It's open. Naruto went in, carrying a tray of tea. Here's some beverage to go along with it. He placed it on his desk. Is it good? Ino nodded and gestured to him to come close. She picked a piece of blue chocolate and feed it to Naruto. Not realizing what she was doing, she licked the fingers she had just used to feed him. Naruto noticed what she had done and found it intimate. He blushed. Heavenly, she said. You got a pretty blush on your face. Yeah, it's good. He went to his closet and pulled the bottom drawer. If anything happens, just scream. I'll be sleeping in the couch. Hey, yes. Naruto got no reply. Ino was just staring. What's up? You can sleep here. That's not gonna happen. I don't have a spare futon. I mean, here. Let's share the bed. Naruto watched her. Ino saw the confusion in his eyes. She was bracing herself for his answer. Their conversation this afternoon had got her rolling downhill. But the blue chocolate had shattered her resolve. She thought she would never be at peace if she did not do something for Naruto. She knew that boys liked physical contact. She was prepared for it. Though there was a possibility that things might escalate to something she might regret later, she just knew that she had to do it. Do you know how beautiful you are, Ino? He said. What? I'll be completely honest with you. Just the thought of sharing a bed with you turns me on. She felt her heart leap from her chest. Damn, my face is so hot. This is embarrassing. It must be as red as a tomato now. I knew it. You're just like those regular perverts. I thought you were a decent guy, but in truth, you see me as an object of your fantasy. See, it will not work. I doubt I could stop myself from doing something if I were beside you. You mean you might do something to me if given the chance? Let's admit it, you're an attractive girl. I'm not sure if I will have enough willpower to stop myself in time. Are you attracted to me, Naruto? Where is this coming from? Look, if you're doing this because of the chocolates, stop. I already told you that I wouldn't ask for anything in return. This is really getting awkward. Yes, it is, so I'll settle this now. You sleep here, I sleep in the living room. He began pulling the door shut, but stopped midway. Oh, you can keep the lights on. Good night. She huffed. Dummy. Ino stayed awake for a while. She looked out the window at the stars and forced herself to think of other stuff. She hadn't expected to be swayed this way. Naruto had only shown a little kindness, but its impact to her was incredible. No, I love Sasuke. I should not entertain adulterous thoughts. And for goodness sake, not Naruto. Not him. She shut her eyes and chanted that she loved Sasuke over and over again. But somehow Naruto's face lingered. She turned her head at the picture frame on the lamp table. She willed herself to stare at Sasuke's face, but her eyes kept on coming back to Naruto's. Oh, what should I do? She popped a chocolate into her mouth and brooded. Spotting a pencil on the desk, she decided to write something down. This will keep me occupied for the meantime. She searched the first drawer for paper, but found envelopes instead, a big stack of envelopes held by a rubber band. Beside the stack, there were 3 envelopes, and they looked more recent compared to the others. She knew she shouldn't be doing it, but she felt compelled to open one and read its content. She gaped at what she saw. The envelope contained a love letter, for her. I saw you today, and I was so happy I did not know what to do. Your clothes looked great on you, as always. I wanted to talk to you, but you were with your friends. I did not want to ruin it because you seemed to be having a good time. So, when you yourself came to me, I was really happy. You asked me if you could get a kiss. I gave up trying to figure out what was on your mind and did it. But, don't worry, I don't mind, though that was really embarrassing, especially when the ice cream you stuck my mouth with dripped on my clothes. That's how much I love you. Even if you're mean, even if you humiliate me countless of times, I will always love you. Because you are the girl I chose, Ino. You will always be. Heart beating wildly, she tried to read from the older ones. The envelope she picked was dated 4 years ago. She could only gape. The date was 2 months before the Chunin exam. You've been in love with me this whole time, but you have the nerve to keep it to yourself. She did not know if it was anger or frustration she felt or a mixture of both. Whatever it was, it made her eyes burn. She started to read. I know this is weird, but I only said that I like Sakura because I don't want you to know. I even try being a jerk around you so that it won't show. It hurts me whenever you say that you like Sasuke, but that's okay. I know you won't notice me, anyway, so maybe that's for the better. Sasuke is a cool guy, no matter how I badmouth him. You'd make a great couple. By the way, you look cute today. She couldn't help opening another one. Drops of tears drenched the letter. She harshly wiped her face with her hand. I missed you. You've grown very beautiful. I was afraid that you have a boyfriend now, but you said you're still single. I'm not sure if I could recover if that were the case. When I saw you this morning, I really wanted to hug you. I barely stopped myself. Imagine how awkward that would have been. There hasn't been a day when I don't think of you. Your memory keeps me going every time I'm about to give up. I think this is not just a crush anymore. I think I've completely fallen for you. I promise you, Ino, I will bring Sasuke back. I'm stronger now so you don't have to worry about anything. Ino. Naruto's voice. She almost fell over the chair. Why yes. Damn it. My voice is cracking. She grabbed the bed cover and wiped her face. What do you want? There are confidential documents in my drawer. They are inside unmarked envelopes. Tsunade Ba-chan entrusted them to me, so as the secrecy protocol dictates, you know. You liar. But I guess we both are. Even without the protocol, I'll never breach someone else's privacy. Damn it, my tears won't stop. If you need paper, you'll find them in the third drawer. He waited for her to answer, but she just couldn't speak. Ino. I know already. He was quiet for 10 seconds. Are you crying? When he did not get an answer, he said goodbye. I'll be downstairs if you need anything. And Ino, everything will be fine. I promise we'll find a solution to this. It's nothing to do with my problem. Why must I need to know of this? How could I possibly be so dumb? She knew it. This would be a long night. Damn it, Naruto. Damn you for breaking my heart. Oh, Mom, it hurts. Help me. Hands shaking, she opened another letter. Ino groggily climbed down the stairs. She hadn't had any sleep last night. There were 84 letters in all, and though mostly brief, each word had been like a blade that wounded her heart. Awake already? Naruto said. He stood at the sink half naked, sweat cruising down his body. Naruto, Ino sighed. He's really good at pretending. I couldn't sleep last night. You wanna use the shower first? You're gonna catch a cold if you stay like that. Geez, you're dripping on the floor. I still have 2 more rounds to go. Sorry about the mess. He finished his glass of milk and went to get his t-shirt from the table. I'll clean up when I get back. Without considering me, we're living together already. Naruto laughed nervously. He seemed not to know how to respond. Never mind. Go on. I'll clean it up for you. Quote. Big thanks. Sorry. Be back later. She almost expected a kiss, but he was gone before she knew it. Ino had fried the salted fish and with the leftover oil, cooked fried rice with a lot of crunchy garlic. To go with it side by side, she had made tomato omelet and a hot pitcher of chocolate. This is something new, Naruto said. I usually eat ramen in the morning. Well, you will not have your usual from now on, Ino said. You either enjoy it or make me angry. From now on, you sound like you want to live here, permanently. That's not such a bad idea. Naruto glanced up at her. Seconds. After a few moments of silence, Naruto said, You were crying last night, weren't you? I was just thinking about how complicated my situation had become. The next thing I knew I was crying. The stress must have finally caught up with you. You have no idea how much stress has caught up with me. Yeah, plus there are other things to worry about. I'm sure Tsunade-sama will summon me soon. I'll talk to Ba-chan. Whatever you say, Tsunade-sama won't tolerate what I did. She will surely order me to return home. I assure you that she's not that kind of person. Could you put it off for a few more days? I think nobody else should know about my whereabouts just yet. We cannot wait that long. Your mother dispatched an Anbu unit. It will be more problematic if she finds you first. I know where you're coming from, Naruto. But I'm scared. What if it turned out differently? She glanced up, pleading. What if I found my mom in there waiting to drag me home? If Ba-chan unexpectedly sided with your mother, I'll protect you. Even if it means going against her. Ino could not speak for a minute. She tried to disguise her joy by clamping hard on a mouthful of hot rice and blaming the tears on the heat. I told you not to be too kind to me, didn't I? Even if you're mean, even if you humiliate me countless of times, I will always love you. Because you are the girl I chose, Ino. You will always be. He looked down and his voice became soft. I will not get another chance like this. Naruto came back around 10 after he had gone to talk with Master Tsunade. Ino was slicing some onions in the kitchen. He had a large grin on his face. How did it go? Ino said. She wants to talk to you tomorrow. She said she would inform your father. Her hand with the knife suddenly jerked and cut her finger. Damn it. I'm so clumsy. What happened? It's okay. It's just a small cut. Let me see. Naruto took her hand. Her forefinger was bleeding. Ino could feel the coldness of his hand. Was he panicking? I can see it, Naruto. Now that I'm aware of everything, you can never hide from me again. Naruto opened the cabinet and took out a first aid kit. He got himself a bottle of antiseptic and band-aid. Using a cotton ball, he dabbed Ino's wound with the antiseptic and wrapped it with the band-aid. All the while, she just watched how he fussed over her. His long, relieved sigh brought tears to her eyes. It's shallow, so you don't have to worry. I'll finish up for you. Hey, what's wrong? Huh, she realized she was crying. She quickly turned around and wiped her tears. Nothing. The onion. I must have rubbed some on my eyes. Excuse me. Are you sure you're okay? I'm fine. Naruto knocked on the door with a tray of food in one hand. It had been 2 hours since Ino went back to his room. Ino, I brought you lunch. I'm coming in. When she didn't reply, he opened the door and peeked inside. Ino was sitting on the edge of his bed, staring at her wounded finger. Ino, I don't know if I have much of an appetite. He entered and put the tray on the lamp table. At least try, okay. You can sleep afterwards. Doesn't matter if you don't finish it. I'm sorry I couldn't eat with you. No worries. I'll do the dishes once I get back. No, it's okay. I'll do it. Are you sure? Yes. All right, if that's what you want. But promise me no more chores, afterwards. Okay. She beamed. Naruto, you're spoiling me too much. I like what I'm doing. He went outside and gently closed the door. Naruto arrived on Ino sleeping soundly in his room when he came back. He was there to get some clothes. He noticed that the blanket over her was disheveled, so he fixed it, brushing away some loose strands of her golden hair that had found their way onto her pretty face. Before he left, he sat on the edge of the bed and took some time to watch her as she slept. His heart beat erratically in his chest. This was the girl he had fallen in love with. Originally, he thought that it would be Sakura, for she had been the girl who had grown closest to him. But fate stepped in and brought him Ino, the girl who had laughed at him the loudest, the girl who had underestimated him the most, and the girl who had trusted him the least. Maybe it was because of her attitude towards him. It made him spend a great deal thinking about her. A pity she loved someone else. He wondered if he could get away with a kiss, but he dismissed the idea and left. Naruto was watching the sky when Ino approached with a tray of tea. Here's something to drink. Thank you. Such a clear night. So beautiful. Yeah, I'll never get tired watching her. You said that before. Huh, you told me that you found me attractive because you'd never get tired looking at me. Naruto looked at her. She was looking at the sky. It was the first time I heard something like that, she said. I'm sorry if it sounded weird. Ino leaned back on her arms. I was wondering if I should tell you, but it'd be unfair if I did not. Before you warned me about it last night, I'd already read a couple of your letters. Naruto's eyes widened. He was speechless for a whole minute. Then he closed his slack mouth and sighed. I did have my suspicion when you acted strange this morning, but I never thought. Is it true, Naruto? Do you really have feelings for me? I guess there's no way out for me, huh? Yes, Ino, I've been in love with you. Ever since. It took a long time before Ino could respond. I was telling myself that it was just a dream. I don't know if I should be grateful to myself for being sneaky, but I'm glad I read them. God, I couldn't believe how dense I've been. I didn't even suspect anything. I thought that it was Sakura you'd been in love with all this time. You know, I considered not telling you about this, because I needed time to think. It's one of the reasons I did not want you to tell Tsunade-sama just yet. I should have considered it more carefully. Maybe this is for the best. It's kind of defeating the purpose if I stay here too long. It's just. Naruto grabbed her hand. Don't worry about me. Yeah, it's not my place, right? When he tried to let go, he was surprised that Ino suddenly turned her hand and entwined her fingers through his. I love Sasuke, Naruto, and you know that. Yes, and I promise I won't be in your way. A shooting star crossed the sky. Naruto, could I take the letters with me? They're meant to be for you. It'd be my pleasure. They were up until very late that night, talking about trivial things. During that long hour, no one spoke of the letters or anything related to Naruto's feelings for her. She enjoyed their conversation, and from Naruto's casual responses and lighthearted jabs, she knew he had begun to let go. I love Sasuke. These words were more like a prayer than an affirmation, for however she denied it, Naruto had swayed her heart. Naruto fell asleep against the sliding door. Ino placed his head on her lap. This was the closest she had been to Naruto and she realized how good-looking he really was. At one point, an Anbu appeared in front of them, but Ino glanced up with pleading eyes. 2 seconds and the Anbu was gone. It's so unfair, she whispered to the cold night breeze. Tsunade and Inoichi had come early the following morning. Naruto left them alone inside his apartment. He waited for them outside. After several minutes, Tsunade and Inoichi came out. I hope that everything has been settled, Naruto said. Ino pulled her large bag out of the door. I'm going with my father, Naruto. Thank you for taking care of my daughter, Inoichi said. I'll consider this a debt of gratitude. Please, sir, don't mention it, Naruto said. Inoichi turned to Ino. I'll give you some time to say goodbye. Thank you, Dad, Ino said. She waited until Tsunade and Inoichi were out of earshot before speaking. So I guess this is goodbye. Are you going back home? Naruto said. No, I'll be living with my grandmother for a while until my problem with mom is solved. That's good to hear. There was an awkward silence that followed. Naruto, about our conversation last night. Don't worry about it. Are you sure you're okay with that? Yup. I think we already got ourselves a good conclusion. Really? Yes. Really? 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 Then you don't really love me, do you? Ino. Ino let out a nervous laugh. Just kidding. Your father is waiting for you, he said. I know. So what are you still doing here? You want me to leave already? She looked at him. I've been thinking, Naruto. Last night, while you were asleep, I went to see Sasuke. Ino stiffened upon hearing his name. Sasuke. He said that he would help you in any way he could. If you want, I can arrange a meeting between the two of you. You bastard. Who gave you permission to do that? I didn't say anything to him that I didn't have the right to say, if that is what you're concerned about. Naruto, you've just made me upset with you. It's better this way, Ino. You love Sasuke. I apologize if I swayed your heart a little. I didn't mean it. He smiled, but his sadness was palpable. Go on now. I don't want to delay you any further. Ino was glaring at him. I thought you loved me. Naruto was silent. I can't believe this. Suddenly, Naruto grabbed her wrist and kissed her on the lips. I can take you away right now if you tell me to. He searched her eyes, but all he saw was confusion. He cradled her face in his hands and kissed her forehead. I wish for your happiness, then, Ino. With a sad smile, he left. The horse-drawn carriage was currently on its way to Ida, a province where the Yamanaka clan owned many hectares of land. Inoichi noticed her daughter as she quietly watched the scenery outside. What's the matter? You've been quiet ever since we left, Inoichi said. It's not like there's something to talk about. Are you worried about your mother? No, it's not about mother. Inoichi could only watch her daughter after that. Though he was in good terms with her, it was still hard to find a subject of interest that he could easily talk about with Ino. How is he? She asked without fervor. He? Whom do you mean? Sasuke. Ah, Sasuke-kun. He's doing great with his rehabilitation. Pretty popular with the nurses, as expected. He asked about you the last time I talked with him. Dad, would you be happy if I became his bride? She locked eyes with her father. Inoichi reached for his daughter's hand. It doesn't matter whoever it is, honey, as long as you're happy. He leaned back to his seat. Hey, it's been a while since you visited. Would you want to see him? It was the first time that day that he saw her daughter smile. Ino was shivering as she and her father walked down the hallway towards Sasuke's room. Not just because the air conditioning temperature was turned low, but also because this was the first time she would see Sasuke after a long time. The place was full of white-clad patients, roaming around the corridors. Same as Sasuke, they were shinobi who had had severe injuries that they needed constant monitoring from medical nins. This special facility was managed by Shikaku Nara, the head of the research department. Inoichi led the way into room 112. It was large, complete with furniture like a house. At the window, a man with black, long hair stood watching the sunset. Sasuke, she said. Sasuke whirled to see who had called. His handsome face brightened up. Ino blinked. He was more handsome now than before. And there was a calm quality surrounding him. His black eyes were gentle, his smile was comely. Hi, Sasuke-kun, how are you doing? Inoichi said. I'm sorry to disturb you. My daughter badly wanted to see you. Dad, she hissed. It's all right. I'm glad you're here to visit, he said. His voice was soft and gentle, as if he was another person altogether. It's been a long time, Ino. How are you? Sasuke approached them, limping with his crutch. You've grown into quite a pretty lady. You're trying to flatter me. Something that I don't usually do. I'll excuse myself, Inoichi said. Take your time, Ino, but be sure not to stress him too much. You're a medical nin. You know these things. Sasuke-kun, see you later. He left them alone in the room. Have a seat, Sasuke said, beckoning her towards the living area of his room. I'll make us some tea. He returned after a while with a tray in his hand. He put the tray on the center table and sat across Ino. The tray contained a plate of cookies, 2 cups, and a small porcelain decanter. Sasuke poured tea for Ino and himself. Thank you for visiting. How's your rehabilitation? Well, I'm getting quite bored with the place. He smiled. My life has been routine. I can't go out freely. I need to sleep on schedule. Everything is measured. You're putting up with it quite well. He shrugged. How about you? I'm fine. I'm a registered medical nin now, like Sakura. Congratulations. I heard from Naruto that you've also been promoted to Jonin. Yes. Wow. You're really leaving me behind. Oh, you'll catch up in no time, given your talents. It might be a while yet. Naruto had inflicted quite the damage to my body. In other words, I'm legitimately deceased. Don't talk like that. After all Naruto's done for you, you don't have the right to say those words. Sasuke laughed. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. You really changed. You seem to have grown quite mellow. Should I have kept my old self? Would you like it better? I guess I'm just not used to this new you. But I like you better this way. Thank Naruto for that. Damn it. Sasuke. Can't you talk normally without mentioning his name? What's the matter? Are you upset with Naruto? Ino looked outside, not answering for a few moments. Okay. I'll drop the formalities. I came here because I'm confused, okay. With what? She crumpled the fabric of her skirt. I think I've fallen in love with Naruto. Sasuke leaned back a little. You've realized just now. What you've realized just now? What are you implying? That I have had feelings for him since then. I thought you picked on him so much because you had feelings for him. I had feelings for you. I used to pick on him because I thought that he was a loser. She let out a long breath. There were circumstances. Then it happened. So what's the problem? Naruto is quite the catch if you ask me. The problem is I'm still in love with you. Sasuke was taken aback. What? Sasuke? I know that this is too sudden, but I don't know what to do anymore. Ever since we were young, I've loved you. But things happened. My mom and I had a fight. I stayed with Naruto for 2 days. I discovered his feelings for me, and then everything just crashed down. Sasuke stared out the window, thinking. I can't decide. He said he would take me away, but I could not say yes. I just stared at him uselessly like a doll. Suddenly, Sasuke leaned over and attempted to kiss her. Though startled, Ino managed to turn away. I'm pretty sure I brushed thoroughly and flossed. She stood up and backed away from him. What the fuck are you trying to do? Look at me, Ino, Sasuke said, smiling. Right now, Naruto weighs more than I am in your heart. And I know deep inside, you wish that it were Naruto you had first fallen in love with, not me. The Yamanaka estate in Edo was a walled mansion with 74 buildings. It was at the foot of Mount Akagi, a dormant, white-capped volcano. At the word that Inoichi and his daughter were coming, the estate had fallen into chaos trying to prepare for a grand reception. And it was grand indeed. All of the servants attended the welcoming ceremony. Maids, pages, footmen, hall boys, gardeners, stable hands, and the Yamanaka private army. A pity Ino could not appreciate them for her mind was elsewhere. If her father did not nudge her, she could have unintentionally, but rudely nevertheless, passed by her grandmother, the Yamanaka clan head of the house, Lady Yamanaka Jun. Ino, the old lady threw her arms around her. Oh, darling, I've missed you so much. Her grandmother's warm embrace stirred deep emotions in her. She buried her face in her bosom. Lady Jun stared up at Inoichi. Inoichi could only shake his head. I need to attend some urgent business in Konoha so I can't stay, Inoichi said. Haha Ue, as I requested, I wish for Ino to stay here for a while. You don't have to request anything, Inoichi. Your family is always welcome to this house. I'm really grateful for that, haha Ue. He leaned in and kissed Ino's head. I'm going, Ino. Take care. It was a day of incredulity for Tsunade. Last night a woman had given birth to a quintuplet, 5 healthy baby girls, the first in the history of Konoha. This morning Shizune had asked for a 2-day vacation because of sore eyes, also a first. And now Inoichi was in the middle of telling her something so out of reason it was funny. Wait, you are telling me to assign your wife as Sasuke's nurse? Yes. Tsunade looked at Inoichi, scowling to tell him that it was not the answer she would like to hear. Hana was one of those people who barged in my office and demanded that Sasuke be publicly executed. Now you're telling me that I should make her his nurse. Hana antagonizes Sasuke because she doesn't know him. If we give her a chance to know Sasuke, I'm sure her opinion of him will change. You are asking me to put Sasuke's life at risk. Can you hear yourself? I can say this because I know that Hana will not do something stupid. Yes, if not given a chance, she will curl there in a corner as long as her prey is out of sight. This is also a chance for Sasuke to face the things he neglected. He is facing them every day. Are you stupid enough not to feel hostility from other people when Sasuke is around? That boy cannot even eat alone in public in fear of being lynched. I'm only suggesting that you give him a chance, too, to show that he deserves forgiveness. You can't imprison him in a cell forever. No, that time will come. It's too early to venture into something dangerous. This conversation is over. I have another reason for suggesting this. No one else wants the assignment. Tsunade looked into Inoichi's eyes. Even Sakura has expressed her unpreparedness for the task. Even Sakura. I'm sorry that you need to hear this, but yes. Even Sakura. The last time I saw her in the facility was when Sasuke cut his wrist. Since then, only Naruto has cared to visit. God, what is happening to these people? She even had a crush on him. You cannot blame them for feeling that way. Alright, I get it. I'll just assign someone to monitor your wife. You should not do that. It'd be bad if Hana found out that she was being observed. To make this work, we will have to trust her. That's the problem. I cannot trust your wife. She clearly hates the boy. I know where you're coming from, Tsunade-sama, but Hana is not that desperate to attempt to kill Sasuke. Let's give her a chance. Do you trust your wife that much? I can't say I trust her 100%. Then why are you so confident that this will work? Because I trust Sasuke. I know that he can convince my wife. You cannot be so sure. Things are bound to happen when two opposites clash. It will not be like that. Trust me. A moment of hesitation. Tsunade held on to the duty detail order in her hand. I have a bad feeling about this. I'll take responsibility if something happens. As if you have a choice. She handed the piece of paper to Inoichi. Listen, if something happens to Sasuke, and it turns out that it's your wife's fault, I can never forgive her. I understand. Good morning, ma'am, Hana said. Reporting for duty. Hana. Such a beautiful woman. If she was not too opinionated, she'd be a total package. Intelligent, brave, loyal, Tsunade sighed. She rounded her desk and stood in front of Hana, holding out her duty detail. Yamanaka Hana, you are hereby assigned as Uchiha Sasuke's nurse. Hana looked straight ahead. Your instruction is well received. Listen, don't try anything stupid. Tsunade waited for her reaction, but nothing came. Dismissed. The big, white building of Konoha Special Rehabilitation Center was filled with brown, translucent glasses, and had architecture more suitable for an art museum. This would be her first time meeting Sasuke ever since Naruto had brought him back. She was not excited about it, but this was her chance to justify her beliefs about the ex-criminal. I can manage from here, Hana told her Jonin escorts. She asked a male attendant and was taken to Sasuke's room. You can call me for anything, the attendant said, clearly captivated by her. She suppressed a laugh, loving the attention. I will. Could you get me Uchiha-san's schedule? Absolutely. By the way, I'm Yamanaka Hana. Yamanaka, are you in some way? I'm Inoichi's wife. She smirked at the crestfallen figure of the young man as he walked away. When the young attendant was gone, Hana inhaled a lungful. She slowly pushed the door. The room smelled like a house, and when she looked around the room, she found out that it was indeed a house. There were large windows overlooking a nice view of greeneries and mountains. At the leftmost corner, an entryway led into a balcony. The bed was fixed. On the side table, a lone, white orchid in a vase swayed with the wind. Hello. Hana called out. Uchiha-san, I'm here. The voice came from the balcony. I'm sorry I can't come to you. My knees are acting up. I can't stand. Sasuke's voice kindled a fresh wave of anger in her. You need to come here to sign some papers. Would you please wait for a few minutes? I'm sorry you came at an unfortunate time. Hana was convinced that he was just acting. It had been months since his therapy started. There was no way he still couldn't walk. She would not budge. Aren't you strong? Then show me. I'm going. I'm sorry to disturb you. Wait. I'm coming. Hana heard a grunt from Sasuke and a chair scraping against the floor. She frowned. It seemed that he was not acting after all. She swallowed her sympathy. If he was really in pain, then that was good news. She heard a violent thud and a loud clang. Sasuke had fallen, but still she stood where she was, anticipating his entrance with a glare in her eyes. Sasuke came in drenched in sweat. He limped towards her with his cane. Instead of inspiring pity, the cluck of Sasuke's cane irritated her. I'm sorry for the trouble. I haven't seen you before. Are you new here? I will be your new nurse. Hana produced a piece of document from her coat's pocket and handed it over to Sasuke. Please sign this as proof that you accept me as replacement. Okay. Let me. Sasuke turned, and then his knees buckled. He fell forward. Hana just looked on. You saw something embarrassing. I'm sorry. Sasuke grabbed the end rail of his bed and pulled himself up to his feet. He smiled at her, and then walked on to his lamp table. Seeing that smile, Hana's heart skipped a bit. It was a sad smile of acceptance. No mask, no pretense. Sasuke sat on the edge of his bed with a sigh of relief. He pulled a drawer from his lamp table and produced a fountain pen. He looked at her as if seeking some assistance. Hana didn't move. Sasuke, defeated, could only shake his head. With a grunt, he pushed himself against his cane and limped towards her. Where do I sign? Here, she said. She raised the paper to him. He put his hand beneath hers. The coldness of his palm made her look up. He was in too much pain that he needed to grit his teeth to prevent himself from groaning. Sasuke fixed the piece of paper on her palm and signed. That should do it. He let go of her hand. You resemble someone I know. Haven't you read my name in here? Sorry. Focusing on writing was already too much for me. It's Yamanaka Hana. I'm Ino's mother. So that's why. Nice to meet you, Yamanaka-san. Hana groaned in irritation and turned. I'm going to return for your medicine. Thank you. She started for the door. Yamanaka-san. She stopped and turned around. I'm sorry. She was a mother, and she could see. The boy wanted to say more, but he didn't know how. She could see in his eyes not the physical pain his knees were giving him. It was the pain of guilt from meeting face to face with a person who loathed him. Eat it. I don't want you apologizing to me. You can't revive the people you killed. Hana went out of the room. Hana arrived at Sasuke's room 3 minutes before 6. Uchiha-san, I'm coming in. She turned the knob and peered inside. She didn't see Sasuke. Uchiha-san. I'm in the balcony. Please, come in. As my nurse, you don't have to ask for permission to enter my room. Hana went in and put the tray of medicine on his bed. I brought your medicine. Could you give me a few more minutes? The sun is about to set. It's already 6. Please, Yamanaka-san. This is one of my few remaining pleasures. Who told you that you could have a pleasant life in here? Did you forget that you're a criminal? I will never forget that. Then come inside and drink your medicine. She heard Sasuke sigh in dismay, which gave her a feeling of victory. All right, I'm coming in. Sasuke limped his way towards her. Oh, you let down your hair. It suits you, Yamanaka-san. You cannot win me with flattery. I'm not trying to flatter you. Is that how you win support from villains? By sweet words. Sasuke pinched the tablet on the tray and put it in his mouth. He crunched the tablet with his teeth and grimaced. As bitter as usual. Who told you to chew it? I chew it to remind myself where I am. You should be in prison, not here. If all criminals are given this treatment, the world will go mad. Sasuke's smile faded. I know. Hana smirked. You know. What do you know? Hana glared at him. Do you want to watch the sunset with me? You'll not regret it. Excuse me. Hana snatched the tray from the bed and walked off. When Hana got out, she saw Naruto walking in her direction. Her face darkened. Another pest she would have given everything to avoid. Naruto was carrying a tray of food. Huh, aren't you Hanaoba-san? Naruto said. Hana's eyebrow twitched. Are we that close? And I prefer the honorific san. Alone, when someone pertains to me. Excuse me. She walked past him, covertly dropping a small device inside one of his back pockets. Naruto watched her as she left. What's wrong with her? He shrugged and put on his happy face. He pushed the door open. Sasuke. I'm here. Sasuke called out from the balcony. Naruto went to the balcony with the tray of food. Sasuke was seated on one of the two metal chairs, watching the gathering darkness. Naruto put the tray of food on the glass table. I almost missed the sunset, Sasuke said. Naruto had ramen for himself and a simple rice and fish meal for Sasuke. Was it because of Hanaoba-san? I ran into her in the hallway. Yes. She's my new nurse. What's happened to Akiko-san? She was reassigned somewhere. Naruto slurped some noodles. How does it feel that you have another gorgeous nurse? Maybe she's pretty, but she's very strict. Sakura or her. Twice. Seriously. Sasuke laughed. Maybe because she's a mother. Or maybe she's doing it out of spite. Nothing like that. She's been nice to me so far. Naruto continued eating. Girlfriend type. Sasuke glanced up. Don't say improper things, Naruto. But she's attractive. Besides, my question was hypothetical. Even so. They chewed in silence for a brief moment. She's hot, Sasuke said. Naruto glanced up and shared a look with Sasuke, and then both of them cracked. Make friends with her, okay. Naruto said when they finally quieted down. I'm trying, but the age gap is too large. Just imagine her as the girl next door. It's not that hard to do. She looks like a teenager. If she's been listening, I bet steam is now coming off her head. At the nurse's station, Hana couldn't decide how to sit. She was blushing furiously and fidgeting. She couldn't stop shaking her legs, as if getting impatient about something. Sometimes a smile would curl on her lips. Sometimes she could feel blood leaving her face. All throughout, her heart couldn't slow down. This was her first time eavesdropping on a conversation between teenage boys. Seriously, try your best to befriend her. Sasuke sighed. I will. After all, it's been pretty hard being alone out here. Things get in your head. That's true and you had better remember it. Change of topic. How are you and Sakura? Anything interesting you want to share with me? What do you think Hanaoba-san's choice of underwear? I want to see her in a black bikini. Hana's foot sprang and hit the desk. She grimaced as she reached for her foot. I said change of topic, Sasuke said with a chuckle. Even though she's already a mother, she still got plenty of curves. Oh, my, I think I got a boner. You what? Hana couldn't take it anymore. She ripped the earpiece off her ear and crushed it under her foot. She groped for her heart, breathing hard. She was very red in the face. Teenage boys were too much for her. The tiny frog, which had been observing her since earlier, crawled through the gap beneath the door. She's gone, Naruto said, bringing the listening device out his pocket. She put this in my pocket before I went in. She doesn't like me. And me, too. Will you be alright? Nothing to worry. I can handle her. I hope you don't use her to do something stupid. Sasuke emptied his glass of water. That's the last thing on my mind. Light invaded the darkness of the sky as morning came. Hana rose early, took a bath, and got dressed. She stood in front of the mirror and brushed her hair. On the wall, the clock said 20 minutes to 6. Hana checked herself with her blonde hair down. She looked nice, the background of hair making her face smaller. She frowned at herself in the mirror and with her right hand, gathered her hair behind her head. Now she looked formal, her heart-shaped face emphasized, but she was somewhat unsatisfied. She slumped onto her chair. How should she wear her hair? After pondering about this, she caught herself. What was she doing? She had always worn her hair in a ponytail. Why was she making a fuss over how to wear her hair now? The conversation she had overheard last night occurred to her. She couldn't believe herself. Grunting, she stomped out of her room. Uchiha-san, I brought your medicine. You can come in. Hana went in. Sasuke was fixing his sandals at the bed. Are you planning to go out? Yes. To get some fresh air and a little exercise. He took the pill and crushed it between his teeth. I believe you have to come with me. I understand, but you need to eat your breakfast first. Naruto brought some breakfast over. I've already. Hana was staring at him. Oh, I see. Then let's go to the cafeteria and grab a bite. No, I'm not that hungry. We'd better get going. Sasuke began to limp away with his cane. Fried rice and salted pork would be nice. I told you I'm not hungry. But egg and toast should do the job, too. Sasuke went out of the room, ignoring Hana. With brisk strides, she caught up with him. I can go without food for days if need be. I'm not some weak woman you need to take care of. I know that, but you'd be missing a part of your life if you did not try them. Stop. Sasuke whirled around. Yamanaka-san, this is a simple thing to do. Will you die if you have breakfast with me? Don't talk to me like that. I'm older than you by 15 years. Then act like one. Please. Let's not start the day with something this stupid. We can easily resolve this if your ego is not that bloated. The last thing I want from you is your concern. Fine. Sasuke roared. Hana backed away when his eyes glowed red for a second. Don't eat. But I'm still going since this conversation has unnecessarily made me hungry. They stared into each other's eyes. Sasuke broke it by turning about and going his way. They entered the cafeteria. Only few tables were occupied since most of the patients ate their breakfast in bed. Sasuke seated Hana near a window and went to the counter to order. He brought back a serving of special fried rice and shrimps, a large bowl of ramen, 2 glasses of milk, and a cup of coffee. Eat up, Sasuke said. This will be your first time eating here, right? Don't misunderstand. I'm only going with this because I'm compelled to do so. Sasuke slurped some noodles from his bowl. Suit yourself. Hana watched him for a moment. You will not listen to whatever I say, will you? When an answer was not forthcoming, she began to eat. In all fairness, the rice seemed to melt in her mouth with every bite. The butter was not the obligatory amount used normally just so you could stir the rice in the wok. She could not stop herself from going to the counter to ask for seconds. While seating herself back on the chair, she noticed that Sasuke was watching her. What? She said, brows furrowing. Nothing. It seems that Naruto was telling the truth. TCH. Don't make me lose appetite. You are one thing, but the Jinchuriki is on a whole different level. He might be a hero, but I will never forgive mass murderers. He told me that you're very pretty. Hana lost grip of the chunk of rice between her chopsticks. It fell back to her bowl. Where are we going? Hana asked. They had been walking for a while now. Large trees surrounded them, and grass tickled their ankles with every step. Are you tired? Uchiha-san, my question requires a simple answer. I don't know how to call that place. Now, your turn. I'm not tired. Say, Yamanaka-san, I want to know how you can live by yourself even though you have a family. Hana didn't answer. Birds chirped like chimes nearby. The rustling of the leaves was accompanied by the crunching of grass beneath their feet. We're not really close, Hana finally said. I see. Hana grunted when Sasuke didn't add anything. Inoichi and I had an arranged marriage. When Ino was born, we began concentrating more on being ninjas. So that's why. Inoichi is a good man, only that he's dedicated to Konoha. I don't mind, anyway, as long as he doesn't betray my trust. We have been living like this for a long time. Doesn't Ino feel lonely? Ino is a strong girl, and she understands how it is to be born to parents like us. I apologize for the intrusion, but Inoichi-san told me about your problem with Ino. Keep your nose out of it. Sasuke didn't reply. They walked for 15 minutes without speaking. My daughter is in love with you, and I wouldn't consent to it, so she ran away from home, Hannah said. We met 2 days ago. Hannah's eyes glinted with murder. What did you talk about? She told me that she was in love with me in a way that said that she was not. What? I don't get you. That means that she is confused, and this is your chance to talk to her about it. Confused? Are you saying that she has fallen in love with someone else? My advice to you, Yamanaka-san, is to befriend Ino. Do you really think that the only reason she left is because of your issue with me? What do you mean? Ah, we're here. Answer me, bastard. Are you saying that it was my fault? I can't answer that because I'm not your daughter. Let's discuss this some other time. White rocks paved the patch of land and no greenery could be seen except for a small tree a few yards away from where they stood. Sasuke limped towards the small tree. Oh, you've grown a new leaf. Good for you, Sasuke said. As if it can hear you, Hannah said. This tree is the symbol of my new life. Sasuke pulled his left sleeve and showed a large scar across his wrist. I tried killing myself many times because I couldn't bear the burden of living after the things that I did. The only thing that stopped me from ever attempting it again was this tree. Naruto showed this tree to me. He didn't tell me anything, except that he was amazed that a small tree like this could survive in a barren place. It occurred to me that time that I had been a fool for so long. I had been living in the past that I wouldn't be able to change no matter how powerful I became. This tree showed me that no matter what happens, no matter where life takes you, you still need to wake up every morning and grow. Atone by fulfilling your duty. Live to carry out your purpose. Never mind the rocks that surround you. Never mind the fact that you are the only tree amidst the rocks. The important thing is what the future brings and what you can bring for the future. He looked at Hannah. I know how much you hate me, but I don't care. I can't do anything about that. But, it will not stop me from achieving the purpose that I'm yet to realize. Are you telling me to forget about the past? You almost had me there. Whatever you say, you will always be a despicable criminal to me. I won't deny that. Sasuke stretched his arms. The hike was tiring. I want to take a nap. Follow me. I know of a good place. They walked up to a knoll. The knoll overlooked the small tree amidst the rocks. Sasuke lay down under the shade of the biggest tree at the top. He sighed. The sky is beautiful today. He closed his eyes and, after a moment, fell asleep. Hannah sat beside Sasuke and watched the small tree below. The wind turned a leaf. The sun struck it, producing a flash of light. It seemed to Hannah that the tree had just winked at her. Sasuke's face was at peace under the dappled shade of the tree. Hannah watched him as he slept. Was this really the Sasuke who had attacked Konoha a few months ago? Her eyes shifted back to the tree. It looked lonely amidst all those rocks, but every day it grew to reach the sun. How could you be so brave, little one? Does Sasuke see himself in you? 4 days passed. The days had been normal. Hannah went to attend to Sasuke's needs. The only problem was the growing seed of forgiveness that began sprouting in her heart. Ever since Sasuke had brought her to the tree, she had felt as if a large chunk of the glacier had fallen off to the sea. She showed him verbal hostility, but he parried with sweet words. She showed him harsh actions, but he blocked them with silence and an expression of curiosity. As time passed, she realized that she could not provoke him. He had accepted her hatred from the beginning. She was yet to do the worst he had prepared himself for. One time, as she came to his room to change his beddings, they fell into a conversation about Sasuke's childhood. Sasuke told her about his family and his admiration for Itachi and the third Hokage. He told him about Naruto and Team 7, their first enemies, and then about Akatsuki and Taka. She asked him out of curiosity, not of anger, why he joined those criminals. He simply said that he had been a blind fool. Every day, Hannah found it more and more comfortable being around Sasuke. When she was with him, he gave all his attention to her. He told of truths in a gentle voice without emphasis on his ego. He told her his regrets in life and his desire to be forgiven in whatever means necessary. Even death. It was almost 3 in the afternoon. She was in his room for an afternoon checkup. She had just finished and was packing up. Sasuke looked at the blue sky with sad eyes. Yes. The wind blew through his hair. Yamanaka-san, do you want me to die? At first, yes, she had wanted him to die. Kill him with her own hands. What are you saying? Why would I want that? I killed. Sasuke's jaw muscles bulged. I ransacked, mercilessly. Enough with the depressing talk. Weren't you the one who told me to avoid such topics of discussion? Sasuke's eyes were filled with sadness when he turned to her. I'm sorry. Hana smiled. A smile that encouraged, a smile with a promise that everything would be fine. I'll come back for your medicine. You should take some rest. Thank you. Hana walked down the hallway with her head down. Her eyes were staring into space. She didn't notice a man in a white robe and they bumped into each other. Yamanaka-san. Hey, are you alright? The man asked. I'm fine. Hana walked on. The man watched her go with a frown. She arrived at her room in that dazed state. She went in and lay down on her bed, looking up at the ceiling. She could see the small tree in her mind surrounded with white rocks. Then she saw Sasuke smiling sadly amidst people who cursed at him, made fun of him, and wanted him dead. She had been one of them. Now, where did she stand? You should not let your anger fade. He killed a dear friend, Hana. You need to avenge her death. That's the only thing now that you can do for her and his other victims. He is just deceiving you. She turned her head to the table where a sachet of green powder lay. You can't betray them. Hana arrived on schedule that evening to give Sasuke his medicine. As usual, she announced her presence. Sasuke let her in. He was sitting on his bed, hands on the handle of his cane, tapping the floor with his foot. I brought your medicine. Sasuke pushed himself to his feet. Thank you, he said as he drank the tablet. I presume you know why I will excuse myself. To watch the sunset. Sasuke smiled. Pardon me, Hana-san. He turned and limped to the balcony. Hana just stood there with the tray, thinking. She stared at Sasuke through the window. Finally, she set the tray down on the bed. Uchiha-san, may I join you? Sasuke looked over his shoulder with a raised eyebrow. May I join you? Oh, of course. Come. Hana went to the balcony. She gasped when her eyes caught sight of the scenery. Far on the west, the remaining rays of the sun went through a long ravine in the center of the mountain. It looked like a glowing blade of a sword stuck in the liver of the demon. The clouds were feathers of pink, purple, and indigo, and the sky a breathtaking painting of orange, violet, and black. The sun provided a silver lining along the outline of the raised land masses. Now you cannot blame me for being obsessive of this habit, Sasuke said. It's so beautiful. Sasuke smiled in pride, as if he was the one who created the panorama. It is. Outside, Naruto sensed Hana's presence in the room, so he instructed a passing nurse to bring another serving of teriyaki and miso soup. Sasuke brought out his pipe and smoked, enjoying the company of his new nurse. It's not advisable for you to smoke, Uchiha-san. Please put it out. This is not tobacco but ground kakarui. It helps me calm down. I don't see why it is necessary. You seem calm. Sasuke looked at her. Not now. Hana blushed. Uchiha-san, please be reminded that those words are inappropriate. Sasuke blew out some smoke. Akiko-san wouldn't watch the sunset with me. Other than Naruto, you're the first one who cared. I was merely curious. Thank you. Anyway, Hana snorted. Dinner's here, Naruto announced from the room. Your friend is here. I had better get going. Sasuke stopped her by grabbing her wrist. Please stay. Hana pulled her wrist from his grip. Look, don't be conceited. Being with you already makes my hairs stand on ends. Joining you for dinner is out of the question. Please. Seeing Sasuke's eyes, Hana hesitated for a brief moment. I'm sorry. Good night. Hana-san, can you be my friend? Hana paused for a bit, but then went on. She walked towards the door. She glared at Naruto, bumping his shoulder as she passed by. Naruto could only watch her with confusion. When he was about to ask Sasuke about it, Sasuke cut him off with a shake of his head. The next day, much to Sasuke's disappointment, another nurse accompanied him the whole day. It was dusk. Hana could see the sun shining through the ravine in the west. The sun's orange light cast shadows behind the gravestones of those who had departed. She turned back to the gravestone in front of her. A single incense burned in the small earthen jar at the base of the gravestone. A bouquet of flowers lay across the grass, the color of the petals made dull by the gathering gloom. Michiko, I have to go now. She reached out and caressed the smooth edge of the gravestone before she left. As she descended the slope, Hana saw a man on crutches going up. Only a stump remained of his left leg. Akitsuki. Hana called out. Oh, if it isn't Hana. Hey, what's up? Akitsuki lurched forward on his crutches. The usual. How are you? I'm doing fine. I was visiting my grandmother when I remembered that it was the 6th month of Michiko's death. I decided to drop by her grave. You just visited her, right? Yes. A beat. Hey, how's Sasuke? I heard that you're his new nurse. Yes. Sasuke is doing fine. Akitsuki smiled. I'm glad. Hana frowned at him. Akitsuki put his hand on her shoulder. I don't want to bother you anymore. Let's see each other some other time. Hana watched him lurch up the slope. He had 2 children and Michiko had been his wife. He and Michiko had been with the team that chased Sasuke. I cannot ignore this, Akitsuki. I'm sorry. Hana had brought Sasuke his medicine earlier than scheduled. She chatted with him for a bit, and then went to wait at a bench in the corridor. She clasped her hands until her knuckles were white and the tips of her fingers were red. Every now and then, she gazed at the wall clock on the wall. Cold sweat sprouted from her forehead even though it was cold. She nibbled at her thumb's nail as she gazed at the stairs. When she saw no one coming up, she glanced up at the clock. 10 minutes after 6. Is he coming? She shook her head. He will come. I know he will. She fiddled with her ponytail to fight her anxiety. Then, after a few more minutes, her eyes caught sight of a familiar blonde boy. Uzumaki-san, wait. Hana called out. Oh, Hana-oba-san, hi. Naruto was about to bring dinner to Sasuke. Anyo, you see, I want to eat with Uchiha-san today. Naruto brightened up. Really? Yes. Could you, Anyo, I want to. Naruto grinned. I understand. Here. He handed the tray over to her. He'll be glad to have someone other than me. Thank you. See you, then. Make some excuse for me. He winked before bounding down the stairs. Hana's attention was on the green tea. Hana's arms trembled when she arrived at the door to Sasuke's room. She gulped twice and breathed 2 consecutive lungfuls to calm herself. She looked up as if to pray, shutting her eyes to call for courage, knowing completely that she would not be able to. As a last attempt for composure, she cleared her throat. Uchiha-san, I brought you dinner. She pushed the door in and entered. Sasuke was at the balcony, watching the sunset. She went and placed the tray of food on the table. Good evening, Sasuke said. I want to discuss something with you. Over dinner. Sasuke smiled. Okay, but could we wait for Naruto? He's a bit late but. He said he had an urgent business to attend to. Sasuke looked at the tray. I see. I just want to apologize for my being cold to you these past days. It's not something you need to apologize for. Sasuke. Sasuke looked up, surprised in hearing his first name. What would you feel if you had to eat with the person who killed your best friend? Hana poured tea into Sasuke's cup. Wouldn't it feel awful? Sasuke eyed the green liquid in his cup. It reflected the moon in its translucent surface. He looked back at Hana. She was watching him. He couldn't breathe for a couple of seconds. Or would it feel liberating? Sasuke realized what was happening. He slowly let out his breath. Hana's eyes welled up as she pushed the cup of tea to Sasuke. Sasuke stared at the cup in front of him. So this is your answer to my question last night. I cannot forgive you. Sasuke's lips curled into a sad smile. He wrapped his hand around the cup. Thank you for sharing my sunset with me. I'm glad that I'll be able to help you move on, Hana-san. Hana's eyes grew wide. Help me move on. Tears spilled out her eyes. She wanted to reach for the cup, but she was too late. Sasuke had emptied it. I'm sorry for everything. Sasuke closed his eyes. Color began to fade from his skin. He fell over and landed beside Hana's feet. Hana could only stare into space. Even though I hated you so much. I thought so. Naruto came running towards them. He noticed the cup on the floor and Hana's wet face. Realization dawned on him. Hana-san, give me the poison. I killed him. Where did you keep it? He frisked Hana's clothes and felt a bulge on her left front pocket. He fished the sachet of green powder she had hidden there. There's no time to lose. We can still make it. Please get Tsunade-ba-chan. Hana didn't move. Yamanaka-san. When she turned, Hana noticed the tears oozing out Naruto's eyes. Please, I'm begging you. Help me save Sasuke. Tsunade looked up from the monitors beside Sasuke's bed. Sasuke lay immobile. An oxygen mask covered the lower half of his face. Intravenous tubes extended from the back of his hands and inner arms. We're fortunate the poison didn't reach his heart, Tsunade said. Hana, you know what will happen to you. Hana weakly nodded. Tsunade-ba-chan, please let me handle this, Naruto said. Naruto, I won't let you meddle in this. What she did is a taboo amongst medical nins. Please, for Sasuke's sake. He will never forgive himself if Yamanaka-san is convicted because of him. The answer is no. Naruto sighed. Tsunade-sensei, I will not think twice in admitting the crime if you push on with it. Hana's eyes widened. Tsunade gaped. I have the poison. This is evidence enough. A fresh supply of tears fell out of Hana's eyes. You're crazy, Tsunade said. You're protecting the woman who almost killed Sasuke. I know. Please, Tsunade-sensei. God, I don't care anymore. Tsunade glared at Hana, who shrank away from her. You'd better remember this day. She slammed the door in irritation. Hana didn't know what to make of what Naruto had done. She could only stare at him in disbelief. Slowly, she sat down on the stool beside Sasuke's bed. I can't understand, she said. Why did you protect me? Shouldn't you be hating me because of what I did? Yes, but this is the price that we both vowed to suffer when I brought him back alive. He forced to smile at her. It happens every time. But it's not reason enough to protect me. I'm guilty of attempted murder. Do you understand that? Do you badly want to be imprisoned? No, but Sasuke wanted to save you. Hana glanced up at Naruto. Sasuke saw his old self in you. He was afraid that if you continued on hating, you would end up like him, being disliked even by his former friends. Sasuke is the kind of guy who blames himself for everything. Up until now, he is suffering because he can't forgive himself for the things he did. He is desperately searching for a way to atone for his sins, even if it means giving his life. He's just like you. I've heard a lot of things about you, Naruto, but I ignored them. I'm sorry for everything. Friends. Naruto offered his hand. Hana shook it. Friends. And for Sasuke, she leaned over and kissed Sasuke's forehead. I'll gladly have him as my son-in-law. Naruto hid the sadness in his voice. He'll be glad to hear that. Hana tiptoed and put a kiss on Naruto's forehead as well. Even if I had been still single, it wouldn't have worked between us. But if you need a mother or an older sister, I'll always be here for you. What are you talking about? Wiping her eyes of tears, Hana smiled wickedly. Wasn't I gorgeous? And hot? And you got a boner from thinking of me in my underwear. Naruto's face glowed red. We were just. Hana sighed. Indulge me. I'm being overrun by emotions right now, so. Huh. Hana pulled Naruto and kissed him in the mouth. She enjoyed herself, releasing the desire Naruto's words had planted in her. It was a wet kiss only older women could give. Naruto melted. He sagged until he was sitting on the floor, Hana pushing on. Hana lost herself in the moment. She pushed on until Naruto was lying on the floor, completely dominated. Few more minutes passed before Hana realized that she had gone overboard. She sat on Naruto's stomach and collared him. Never ever bragged about this, do you understand? This is between us. If my husband learns about this, he will kill us both. Naruto nodded, still dazed. Damn it, I got carried away. I hope Ino could kiss me like that. Hana blinked. Ino, wait, you're also in love with my daughter. Huh, no, Sasuke, overhearing the conversation, smiled and went back to sleep. Sasuke looked up from the newspaper he was reading when he heard the door open. Hana went in with an embarrassed smile on her face. Hana-san, why are you still here? I thought I had a new nurse. Hana set the tray of medicine down on the table. How are you? If you're talking about that, don't worry. I'm fine. I want to apologize again. Sasuke smiled. It was not the first time someone attempted to poison me. Somehow, my body seems to have created within itself immunity to foreign chemicals. I'm sorry, she muttered. They did their duties without regrets, and they would have been happy if a former enemy came back as an ally, but I was blinded by my selfishness. Please, stop, Hana-san. Don't blame yourself. I want to blame myself. I'm the adult here. I also have pride, you know. I only saw you as how you were. I didn't have the slightest idea of how you might be feeling around people you did something wrong to. Now I know how it feels and it's killing me. Sasuke put a hand on her shoulder. Hana-san, if you concern yourself with something that trivial, you will be like how you were 3 days ago. If you really want to apologize, then help me forget that the woman in front of me had once attempted to take my life. You are now my friend, right? Hana nodded. Then that settles it. But, the door creaked and Naruto poked his head inside. Hey, why the gloomy atmosphere? Hana glared at Naruto. I'm trying to apologize here, you idiot. Did I interrupt? Sasuke said. Hana-san, would you join us for dinner? We are not finished yet, Sasuke-kun. I will never forgive you, you bitch. I want you to fucking die for what you did to me. I don't want you here. Get the hell out, now. Sasuke said in his most quiet, threatening voice, an impersonation of his old self, before he cleared his throat. I know that is what you wanted to hear from me. I forgive you, not enough. Hana gaped at Sasuke. Wow, that's rich, Naruto said. And Hana-san, that again. Will you forgive yourself, already? Room service, said a voice from the door. Ah, great timing. Naruto went to get their food. A lovely nurse was glaring at Naruto. I will kill you, Naruto, if you don't come to help clean the morgue on Sunday, she hissed. Of course, Kyo. Sorry for the trouble. HMPH. If you were not cute, but this Naruto didn't hear. She was already a few paces away. Naruto pulled the food cart inside the room. There were 3 plates on the cart. Were you eavesdropping on us? Hana said. Somehow, I knew you'd be here. Naruto jerked his chin at the tray. Nurse-san. Hana stared disbelievingly at Naruto, and then a smile suddenly showed on her lips. She shook her head. Unbelievable. I'm getting pushed by 2 teenage boys. Hana smiled. Sasuke smiled. Naruto grinned. Let's eat, Sasuke said. Ino walked out of her room, feeling tired. She had not slept well. Her father had not visited for the last 3 weeks, and she craved for news about the village, particularly about her mother and Naruto. Did her mother think about her? Had her mother already realized what she was trying to tell her? Had Naruto thought of her even once? She could only assume. What she was sure about was she missed the village and that charming blonde boy. She took a shower and went to eat breakfast. She was alone at the large dining table. Only a maid served as her company. The food would have been appetizing on a different day, but today it tasted bland to her. She shortly left the table after a few spoonfuls. Ojo-sama, please, at least drink your milk, the maid said. Ino glanced at the maid briefly, and then went to drink the milk in one go. Where's Oba-san? Out to negotiate on land matters, Ojo-sama. I see. Call me when she arrives. Yes, Ojo-sama. Ino went into her room and lay down on her bed. She really missed Naruto. She wanted to see him. She wondered why she had decided to take the advice of her grandmother about not seeing Naruto or Sasuke for a month. She hoped it would really change her perspective of them, as she had assured her. She was worried Naruto would not feel the same way when they met again. She knew that Naruto could fall for Sakura for real. They were close friends. Sakura had grown prettier, and because she had gotten more confident about herself, her charm had skyrocketed. She could not completely believe that Naruto did not go after looks. Why would he fall in love with her when she lacked anything else to offer? Ino sighed and rolled on her bed. She hugged her pillow, burying her face in it. Naruto, she muttered. You love me, right? Was she just being paranoid? Feeling helpless, she decided to take a walk. Ojo-sama, a maid called out. Ojo-sama, Oku-sama is here. She wants to see you. Ino frowned. She knew that her mother had not come to apologize. It had to be the arranged marriage again. Thank you, she said. Ino bowed at her mother when they met at the reception hall. Mom, why are you here? I just wanted to see you. Ino examined Hana's face. Come on, are you still that angry with me? Alright. Ino was gone for a few minutes and came back carrying a tray with 2 clay cups and a porcelain decanter. She served her mother a cup of tea and made one for her. It's good, Hana said after taking a sip. Thank you, Ino said, coldly. Hana set her cup down on the coaster. I came here to apologize. I'm sorry, I said I came here to apologize. Ino gaped at her mother. I was assigned as Sasuke's nurse for a couple of weeks. I discovered that he's not the kind of man I thought he was. I should have trusted you a long time ago. You don't mean, I'll never get in your way again. Ino lunged and embraced her mother like there was no more tomorrow. Tears flowed profusely down her cheeks. You don't know how much this means to me, Mom. Thank you. Hana embraced her back and let her cry on her shoulder. It's probably best if you stop crying now. You'll mess up your pretty face. Between sobs, Ino smiled and said, I already look like a mess, anyway. I haven't been able to sleep well for a few days now. Worried about Naruto. Now where would you get that idea? Your father told me that you lived with Naruto for a couple of days. I wouldn't be surprised if something happened between the two of you. Ino blushed. Mom, I don't mind. You're both healthy teenagers. Besides, if he got you pregnant, he could always marry you. We did not have sex. Are you crazy? And what are you saying? Last time I checked, you were still an anti-Naruto fanatic. Not anymore. Impossible. Is this some kind of trap? Are you trying some sort of scheme here? Ino frowned at her mother. Why are you blushing like a teenager? It's a long story. My point is you're now free to choose whomever you want. Ino could not say anything. I'm giving you permission to see Sasuke anytime or date Naruto, Hana said. Just remember to take responsibility for your actions. Mom, what really happened? Why are you acting kind to them all of a sudden? I can't shake the feeling that you're luring me into a trap. Hana stared at Ino for a time. Okay, since I'll be staying over, might as well tell you what happened during my assignment. But it comes later. The other reason I want to see you is to tell you this. Haha Yue is trying to acquire an important piece of land in Torihana, but the owner is very concerned about security. We already assessed that there is no immediate threat, but Haha Yue wants to cover all the bases before proceeding with the deal. In order to do that, She made a contract with Konoha to hire a team to serve as political envoys. And she chose Kakashi's Team 7 for the job. Ino froze for a few seconds before saying, "You've got to be kidding me." They arrived at the Yamanaka estate on Tuesday and were welcomed warmly into the main mansion by servants in kimono and haori. Hana and Ino escorted them inside, apologizing that the lady of the house Yamanaka Jun had not been able to come home from her business trip. The moment smiles were exchanged, Sakura immediately felt like an outcast. There was an unexplainable connection between the four people in front of her. She noticed that Naruto was focusing more on watching Ino than listening to Hana, who was in the middle of explaining the mission's details. Ino, on the other hand, minded her hair, which she had let down for the occasion, a great deal, obviously aware of Naruto's attention. Shifting her full attention to Ino, she observed that she would look up and take a glance at Naruto whenever she had a chance. After the briefing, Hana requested a maid to show them their rooms. Sakura realized she was unconsciously glaring at Ino. Ino noticed her stare and immediately averted her eyes. Was Ino the reason for her lousy date with Naruto on the flower festival? Naruto had been preoccupied most of the time that night, replying curtly and acting passively around her. She had planned to stay long, but Naruto bailed out on her by telling her he did not feel well. "Sakura, are you listening? Let's go," Naruto said. "What's wrong? You're spacing out." "I'm just thinking of something." "Well, see you at dinner," Ino said. "I'll cook your favorite." Sakura almost stepped in and confronted Ino. She was acting as if Naruto was the only one present in the room. But Naruto cut in before she could say anything. "See you, then," he said. "Come on, Sakura." Naruto had not kept a secret from her. He had told her about everything, even those perverted things boys usually kept hidden until death. But was she not mistaken? Sakura grabbed his hand. "Hey, Naruto, what was that about? You could not take your eyes off Ino." "I was just amazed how pretty Ino could be when she let her hair down." "Is that all? Are you not holding back anything from me? What is this about? Speaking of which, are you not going to grow your hair anymore? I miss your long hair, you know." "Am I missing something? I get the feeling that you are keeping something from me." Naruto stared at her. "Please tell me, Naruto," Sakura poked. "Well, alright. When Ino ran away, she went to live with me for a couple of days. And you didn't tell me. How could you keep this from me?" "I'm sorry. I promised not to tell anyone. Do you see me as everyone else? Did you think I could not keep a secret?" "Hey, don't raise your voice." From the end of the hallway, the maid said, "Is there something wrong?" "Nothing." To Sakura, Naruto said, "Let's talk in my room." They finally arrived to their respective rooms. Naruto pulled Sakura inside his room, thanking Sasuke internally for letting them be. "Did you do it with her?" Sakura said. "Is that the reason you were cold to me at the festival? Is your conscience bothering you? Keep your voice down. What the hell? Just answer my question." "No, we did not. We even slept in separate rooms." "Damn, Sakura, what are you so worked up about?" "I was just trying to help Ino as a friend." "A friend? Where are you going with this?" Sakura's throat contracted. She felt her eyes welling up. "Spit it out, Naruto. Tell me the truth." "Okay." Naruto looked into her eyes. "I'm in love with your friend, been in love for a long time." What? Her false confession to him at the time of the 5-Cage summit, that one attempt to stop him from going, came back to her. "So all those years, I believed something that did not exist. I'll admit that once I had a crush on you, but whom I'd fallen in love with is Ino. I never told you because I did not want anyone to know, not even you." Sakura didn't know what to do. She just kept staring at Naruto. She wanted to ask if he was serious, but she was afraid she would not be able to stand his reply. She looked down to hide her face. Her fists quivered by her side. "So that's it, huh? Just like that," she mumbled. I never meant to keep this for a long time. I figured you'd know anyway. I just did not have the courage to tell you. She was crying now, because I might think you were just using me. Yes. So she wouldn't have the slightest idea. Yes. I'm sorry. Well, I'm happy I've been of use to you, she said before storming out the room. Sakura heard the thud of the frame against the jamb. Then she was alone in the hallway. Idiot, she muttered. She angrily wiped the tears on her eyes. For a moment, she thought that she could hold it off, but the pain surged like a wave. Her throat burned and it became difficult for her to breathe. All that time, she thought that Naruto loved her. She thought that it was the reason he was always there for her. Now she knew that she had been conceited. She was a fool for believing such a childish fantasy. She had taken for granted the fact that they were close and believed that, in the long run, Naruto would naturally develop feelings for her. Why had she not thought of something like this? Why had she not considered that he might fall in love with another girl? Idiot, she muttered again, unsure if that was directed at Naruto or herself. She did not know what to do. How would she act around him now?